Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza and the Mets lead 3-2. Bartolo has done it! The impossible has happened! This is one of the great moments in the history of baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mets fans of all ages, here is your host, Nick Durst. Hello, Mets fans. Welcome back to another edition of Bleav in the Mets. I am your host, Nick Durst, and the season is upon us. The season is here. It starts this week. Still pessimistic despite the big signing last week, JD Martinez. The pitching is really scary. So who knows what's going to happen? But joining me now to break it all down, you may have seen him on his own podcast, the Frank the Tank podcast, and also, of course, at Met Games and on Barstool. He is Frank the Tank. Frank, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Listen, the Mets signed JD Martinez. That's great, right? But it's probably like a year and a half too late at this point.
Probably. Could have had him 2 years ago. I suppose I heard it 2 years ago they could have traded Mark Vientos for him, ironically enough.
Yeah, that would have been great to get rid of.
I'm going to say this about Mark Vientos. The guy is not a major leaguer.
No.
He is a quadruple A player who could occasionally hit a home run. He can't play a position, and he strikes out way too much.
No defense.
He is a 200 hitter who, in a good year, is going to hit 15 to 20 home runs. Right. And that, to me, is a terrible baseball player.
He's another Darren Ruff. There's no position for him, and yeah, he's got great exit velo, but if he's missing the ball 9 out of 10 times,
I don't care about exit velo.
Who does?
Let's keep bringing this exit velo thing. If your exit velo is 0 if you strike out. Exactly. And then they bring up this other stat, BABIP. BABIP is the most moronic stat that's ever been created, and there are a lot of moronic stats out there. Batting average on balls put in play, yeah, it's fine and dandy if you put the ball in play 60% of the time, but if you strike out 300 times, your BABIP, I don't give a fuck what your BABIP is.
That's true, Frank. And Martinez adds to the lineup.
Well, I hear Javier Baez has a pretty good BABIP too.
Yeah,
and he's going to strike out 270 times this year.
Yeah, good thing they didn't sign him as a re-sign because he would have been a disaster.
I saw an at bat that he had in spring training where all 3 pitches were in the dirt, and he just swung at all 3 pitches.
Wants to get his swings in spring training. The lineup, Frank. JD Martinez is a great addition, but the lineup's still not that good. Where are they getting to score these runs from? There's too many ifs with Beatty down there. Harrison Bader's going to get hurt. Where are they going to?
Harrison Bader's going to get hurt. Harrison Bader's going to bat 140. Every year the Mets sign, it's been a tradition like no other. I mean, let's review about the last 15 years. We've seen Gary Matthews Jr., John Mayberry Jr., Alejandro De Aza, Alberto Mora, Jake Mrazek. I mean, how many outfield bums, just useless outfield bums, have the Mets signed? And none of them could even get to the Mendoza line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who Harrison Bader is this year. His batting average is going to be on that interstate all fucking year. And when he goes down, it's going to be a good thing for the Mets.
Well, do you think if he goes down, they'll actually call up like Drew Gilbert, or they'll just play Tyrone Taylor? I think they'll just play Tyrone Taylor. Yeah, maybe move McNeil to the outfield, play Joey Wendell.
Yeah, McNeil at the outfield, Zach Short at second. Always fun to watch.
I think Zach's stay in the majors is going to be short-lived. I think they'll DFA him for JD Martinez. But were you surprised Vientos didn't start the season as DH and he's going to the minors?
I'm a little surprised at that, yes.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to DH? DJ Stewart and Zach Short?
DJ Stewart stinks.
He had that 2-week run that was good, right? Yeah. And that got him the
DJ Stewart stinks. He stopped Troy. I'm surprised he actually went down to the minors. He actually had a good spring, but
yeah, Luke Voigt.
I heard someone actually called him K-pop Vogelback.
We got a comment here. Samantha wants to know, what's the best thing that will happen this season for the Mets? Is it securing a good draft pick?
No. The Mets could have the number 1 pick, and they'll still pick someone who's a bum. They have no talent. They have no idea how to evaluate talent nor develop talent. That's why we have people like
Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty.
Yeah, Brett Beatty. And Brett Beatty, they said, is going to be the next George Brett. His name is Brett. He plays third base and hits left-handed. It's the only thing he has in common with George Brett.
Remember they drafted Kumar Rocker? They couldn't get the agreement done. I mean,
yeah, that will happen again.
They're jinxed. But this team right now, their over/under is 81.5. That's something you could bet. Obviously, I think you got to go under here. The line didn't change at all when they signed JD Martinez, but the pitching's just so bad. I can't see a scenario, Frank, where they have a winning record. This team.
I think their ceiling is 84 wins, and the floor is 100 losses. And if they trade Pete Alonzo, they're going to get nothing for him. This is a pipe dream. There's no way to bring in Juan SoDo. This team's going to be very bad. I think in about a year or two, we're going to have KFC and Clem finally going, oh, Uncle Steve was a lie. Oh, what a shock. He's a con man.
Well,
they'll say that I was right.
Yeah, I think
they'll have to get Frank is right tattoos.
There you go. Well, obviously anybody can bet this under. You could bet Alonzo if he's going to get traded. Just go to the Cut app, use the promo code Bleav Mets on your screen. You see it there, and bet on that. But we have some more comments here. Joe says Frank loves Brett Beatty, and he wants to know what's the holdup with Pete Alonso. Why would Pete Alonso want to sign right now? There's no incentive for him to sign an extension.
The Mets just are stupid. When the Braves are signing all their players, the Mets should have signed Pete Alonso after the 2021 season, given him a nice extension, paid him. But no, they still wanted to get away with not paying him the big money in 2022, and then you see what happened. They could have ripped up that contract. They could have given him a 5-6 year deal like all the Braves did, because the Braves have vision, and the Mets have had 4 GMs since Moron brought the team.
Well, the problem is the first
GM was a pervert. The second GM was a lush. The third GM was a moron, and now we got David Stearns, who is a Wilpon.
Who do you think was the worst of the GMs under the Cohen era?
Billy Epler.
Yeah, Billy Epler. What a trade deadline in 2022.
If you want to know how bad a GM he is,
he's suspended.
Yeah, well, anyone that hires him is a moron, an idiot, stupid, dumb.
How do you think Brody Van Wagenen would have done with the Steve Cohen money?
He was a fraud. He wouldn't have done a damn thing.
So, any faith in Stearns here to turn things around?
Nope.
Small market Mets? No.
Nope. The Mets don't have the ability to scout players, develop talent, or even spot talent, and they have no ability to develop players. I think we're looking at decades and decades of just mediocrity and losing, and to try to cover it up, we're gonna have these goddamn motherfucking cheerleaders dancing and loud fucking music, just like
the city field dancers. Yeah, the new thing this season. They got to distract from the bad play on the field, right? So I guess they'll just jump on the dugouts. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Whenever they introduce him, I will boo.
So you're going to go to a lot of games this season, Frank, or are you going to hold out?
I'm going to the Dirty Ballpark tour. I'll be there opening day, whenever that is.
Yeah, Friday maybe. Remember last year they canceled the day before, and then it was a beautiful day for opening day when the game was canceled, and they played the following day when it was cold.
I'll be shocked if Unless the weather forecast changes, I'll be shocked if they play Thursday.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Medina doesn't like your negativity, but there's not much to be positive about on this team.
No, it's a nightmare. Starling Farte. This guy has lost all baseball ability and talent. He hit 086 in spring training.
Yeah, but he was healthy, Frank. He came out of spring training healthy.
I think the Mets will have the lowest team batting average in the majors this year.
It's a possibility. At least there's free new fried rainbow cookies.
Those things are disgusting. Putting a cookie in an egg roll.
Yeah.
What is that?
Trying to be trendy. Best restaurant.
Well, they better keep the Pat LaFrida steak. Watch them take that away. The one good thing that they had.
What's your go-to when you go to the games?
Pat LaFrida steak.
All right. You got to go to the Hyundai Club.
My mouth's watering for that. My mouth's watering for the Pat LaFrida steak.
So that'll be your opening day meal.
And of course, if opening day is Friday, I have to stick with the pizza.
Yeah, Lent. Gotta your meat. So, how about David Stearns? Right, he got very cocky. Before he took the job, he fires Buck Showalter, and then he thought he was getting Craig Counsell. He ends up with Carlos Mendoza, who was the bench coach of the worst record Yankee team in the last 30 years. This hire, to me, makes no sense if you're a team that wants to win, Frank. What are your expectations for Carlos Mendoza this year?
No, I'd rather have the bench coach be the manager.
Yeah, Gibbons. He knows what he's doing.
And what team did Gibbons play on?
But in the Mets, 1986.
Yep.
So Mendoza, though, I mean, they're looking very Yankee-like. Bader, Severino, Ottavino.
I think Severino has a chance to have a good year.
Really? Okay.
I was impressed by him in spring training.
So his ERA will be less than 6 this year.
Yes.
All right. Overall, though, Frank, I mean, look at this rotation. These numbers on your screen are awful. A combined ERA of 4.69. That'll put you about 27th best in the league. None of these guys are going to pitch over 125 innings. How are they going to? It's great that Edwin Diaz is back, but how often is he going to get the ball at the lead? It's going to be very rare that he's got a chance to go for a save.
I mean, it could be very bad. It could be bad. And I think the Mets are a team that if they fall out of the race fast, Pete Alonzo will be traded fast.
Oh, definitely. I mean, David Stearns has no ties to Pete Alonso or any of this team. I think 2024, uncompetitive, trade deadline fire sale we're looking at. I mean, all the pitchers are on one-year deals. You have all these relievers on one-year deals. So JD Martinez, he's on a one-year deal. Alonzo. So anybody that is remotely good, I think Stearns will flip and try to get maybe a reliever or something.
Yeah, and if you look at the prospects they got, Acuna's not good.
No, it's his last name, Frank. It's nepotism.
Do you remember Wilton Guerrero?
Wilton Guerrero. Yeah, he's a star, right? Superstar.
That's who Luis Acuna is. He's Wilton Guerrero the second.
Okay.
And I can tell you the way you're talking, you don't know who Wilton Guerrero is.
Wilton Guerrero, wasn't he related to Vladimir?
He's Vladimir Guerrero's brother.
Brother, right? Yeah.
So this is what it is. It's Mike Maddox.
Greg's brother. Yeah. So just a little brother.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy Giambi.
Yeah. There's another one.
Did you like any? Do you like any of the prospects they got? Clifford, Gilbert, anybody in the trades? Anybody could pan out, perhaps?
Nope.
So with all these position players they got, wouldn't it make sense to maybe trade some of them for a legitimate pitcher? Because there's no way that all these guys they got are going to pan out in the majors. Look at Brady.
Mike Vassell sucks.
Well, they drafted him, but yeah. How about Christian Scott? Could he be okay?
Hey, until he blows out his arm in the first game he pitches.
Everybody's got to get Tommy John surgery. Well, Joe says Pete's going to leave and go hit 60 home runs with his new team the following year. Frank, I'm afraid that Pete Alonso is going to be a Philly next year, I think.
How about the Bronx? How about that one?
Okay. Did the Yankees got the money for Alonzo and SoDo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Mets will be having Hee-Seop Choi He's up Troy and
Mark Pianta.
Adam and Harrison Bader. That would be our players.
So if you had to choose between SoDo or Alonzo, who do you think is more likely to be a Met next year?
None of them.
The both will go elsewhere.
No shot.
All right. Is there anybody you think that if the Mets trade this year, they can get something of value for?
Nope. David Stearns doesn't think that value is important. He says quantity over quality.
True. So what do you think the Pete Alonzo trade would look like? Would they get like 3 prospects, maybe like a single A guy? Like, remember last year, Epler, he got a bunch of guys that are 17 years old that can maybe make the team in 2027.
They're going to trade him to the Blue Jays and get Alex Manoah.
Yeah, he was in the he got single last year.
Yeah, they're going to trade him for Alex Manoah, Alex Kirk, and Daniel Vogelback.
No, Vogelback's coming back.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Rosado doesn't like that.
Yeah. They'll bring him, and then they'll bring in Hayes Topsoid, and they'll trade Alvarez to bring back Wilson Ramos.
What do you think? You think Jordan Montgomery's agent's trying to get him a deal with the Mets?
Then they're going to. There's no way Jordan Montgomery's coming to the Mets. Then they're going to sign the Kung Fu Panda.
Sandoval's back. He's back with the Giants. He's looking slung.
We
got a good question here. Joe wants to know, if you were the GM, Frank, what's your business plan to get back on the top?
Well, first off, you got to sign Pete Alonzo. He's a core piece. Second of all is you got to realize that the Mets have to spend above anyone else has to do.
Yeah, because what's the incentive for a free agent to come here right now to play for a bad team?
What you have to do is you have to no more signing players over 35, unless it's 1-year deals.
Yeah,
you got to sign these players when they're young. No more Scherzers, no more Verlanders, but you still have to spend money.
Yeah, and what do you think? They need a new manager, right?
Probably.
Well, getting Mendoza's signals, they're okay with losing for 2-3 years, and I think that's what's going to happen. So Jeffrey, don't sign anybody past 5 years.
I think the Mets will lose at least 100 games. I think the Mets. This is going to be the 1970s all over again, where they're going to finish last or next to last every year for the next 10 years.
Oof. You think the Nationals are going to surpass them this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, do you think that the Mets dodged a bullet not getting Yamamoto and Otani? Yamamoto got destroyed his first game. Otani.
No, they're going to cover up. They're going to cover up Otani. So,
of course. Wouldn't it be a bigger story if he was playing in New York, though? Nobody cares.
If he's playing in New York, he would already be suspended.
Oh yeah, especially if he was in the Mets.
Yeah.
But Yamamoto, I think maybe he's not worth the money that he ended up getting.
No, he's going to win the Cy Young.
Okay, fair enough. So, again, with Steve Cohen, you mentioned you don't really like him, but do you think there's a thing that he's getting played by the other GMs? Like they'll call him to bid up the price, and then they'll go to another team, like we saw Yamamoto.
Oh yeah,
Steve
no
Cohen,
doubt about it.
right?
No doubt about it. No doubt about that. That's happening.
Yeah, so he's got to be careful there. Now, last year, or was it 2 years ago, the Mets, they had this big thing where Shakira was there, and Buck Showalter was going crazy. You think this is going to be a year where we're going to see a lot of celebrities stopping at the Citi Field, or are they going to just maybe surpass, not bother to come?
It's they're going to bring out the celebrities, but it's going to be like C-list celebrities,
like some reality TV star or something like that. Like the situation.
Yep.
All right. So opening day, Frank,
I predict Quintana's going to give up a home run on the first pitch. The Brewers are going to win opening day 13-1.
Oh, okay.
And the Mets will get swept over the weekend.
Sweep. Okay. Maybe they'll get a rain out, so maybe they'll be lucky. But with the current roster, which is not fantastic. What kind of lineup would you put together?
It doesn't matter what they put together. It's all shit. Especially Zach Short. I think the Mets are gonna have a bad. And if Days Alvarez doesn't play, we're gonna get to watch Ofra Narvaez.
Which Mets do you think will hit over 250 this year?
There will be not one player that hits over 250.
Wow. Okay. So regression for Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McNeil's gonna hit 220.
How about Nimmo?
Nimmo's now going to be Javier Baez. He's no longer going to walk, and he's going to bat 210.
All right. And who's going to lead the team in home runs?
After Pete Alonso's traded,
Alvarez?
What?
Alvarez, probably.
Alvarez will get injured.
Okay.
Lindor is going to be hurt. The Mets will have no one in their lineup that has more than 10 home runs.
Oh, wow. All right. Interesting. And JD Martinez, will he be healthy enough to be traded, or are they going to be stuck with him?
They will trade him.
Trade him. Okay. So, do you think anybody will try to trade for Edwin Diaz?
Possible.
Would you trade Edwin Diaz?
I don't know about that, but something tells me he's going to get hurt too, and we're going to be watching Andre Scrub closing games.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen much of him, but that was the big sign this offseason. What players on this team do you think could actually be part of some people that you'd want to keep for the future?
Well, once Pete Alonso's traded, there's going to be nobody. It's going to be like having Tucker Ashford, Lenny Randall, Doug Flynn, Dan Norman. These will be the players that are that probably should be playing for the Long Island Ducks.
Okay, so
in fact, I think if the Mets played a 7-game series with the Long Island Ducks, the Ducks will win in 5.
Well, if Daniel Murphy's playing, then yeah, I think that'd be good for them. They should have signed Murphy last year to DH.
Yeah, well,
how'd you feel about when they waited till September to call up Ronnie Mauricio?
And he blew out his knee.
Yeah,
and I heard the surgery didn't go well, so he might he has to have a reconstructive knee surgery.
Career-ending injury, maybe.
Yep.
All right. Well, what year do you think it'll be that the Mets could be a 500 team?
21-11.
Okay, it's going to be complicated. Baseball. The Mets they might be in Mercury by then. The Mercury Mets. Any giveaways you're looking forward to this year?
Probably the Good and Bobble arm.
Okay. Now, are you good with them inducting Gooden and Strawberry as numbered retirees this year?
Yes, I am. Okay. Now all they have to do is retire Gary Carter's number.
Yes.
And David Wright's number, and they'll be complete.
Yeah, David Wright, I'm surprised. What's the holdup?
I think it will happen eventually. I think they want to get these guys out of the way first.
Yeah, I think Gary Carter, you have the nail on the head. You have to put him in if he's putting the other guys.
Yeah, well, the number hasn't been issued in 20 years.
Yeah,
the last guy to win 8 on the Mets was a coach, Matt Galante.
I remember Desi Relaford wore it in the early 2000s, and he wore it proudly. Are you surprised the Mets, they did one Old Timers Day, and that was it? They were done with it.
Yeah, just because Max Scherzer made everyone miserable.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Okay. Was he was talking crap to the alumni?
Supposedly, I think the plan is maybe to do like one every like 4 or 5 years.
All right, that works then. Yeah, it gets oversaturated then.
Yeah, what used to be Yankee Old Timers Day is now kind of sad.
Yeah, just trot out the same 3 people for intro.
I mean, growing up, you watch Yankee Old Timers Day. It was Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Joe Pepitone, Yogi Berra is always there.
Yeah,
Phil Rizzuto put on the uniform. You got to see like all the old guys. Now you don't even see anybody. You see the guys from the 90s, the overinflated egos of like Jorge Posada, whose number should never have been. I mean, the Yankees retiring Jorge Posada's
Everybody
number.
gets a number retired on the Yankees.
I mean, Jorge Posada's number being retired by the Yankees is actually quite laughable.
Well, the old timers day, all you got to do is play like 1 or 2 games for the Yankees, and they end up inviting.
Welcome back, Rich Monteleone. Welcome back, Oscar Azokar. He had a 3-month period where he looked like he was going to be Babe Ruth. Welcome back, Kevin Moss.
It's true. What do you think about Steve Gelbs? Do you think he's good at his job?
He's okay.
He's not Kevin Burkhardt though.
No.
And Gary, Keith, and Ron. You think it's still a good trio? Does it still work?
Yes, it is, especially with Keith Hernandez gets ornery.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, what are your alternatives? Anthony Recker, you know?
Yeah.
Anthony Recker. Anthony Recker.
Can you believe Anthony Recker's on LB Network now?
You know, greatest moments in baseball history. I'll tell you what. Bill Buckner's era, Babe Ruth's called shot, Joe Carter's home run, Bill Mazeroski, Kurt Gibson, none of them. Those don't pale in comparison. There was a game where a 180 lifetime hitter, came up with 2 strikes, 2 outs, down 4, and the bases were loaded. And I hit a grand slam home run. That's the greatest moment in baseball history. That's why I bring it up in every single broadcast I talk about. Plus, I sound like Kermit the Frog. Yeah. Hello, I was a Met catcher one time. It's the Anthony Recker Show.
Now, what do you think about the fact that, we saw what the Scherzer's first start and Verlander, but all these games on Apple TV and Peacock and Amazon, I think it's getting a little out of hand here.
It is. It's getting obnoxious.
Yeah, and I heard Sunday Night Baseball might be off ESPN. So where's that going to go? Roku?
Probably. Well, I hear ESPN wants to drop baseball completely. They want to focus on WNBA for the and just plunge the WNBA down. You throw, you're not watching it? No, he's WNBA.
Yeah, no more baseball.
Open up.
ESPN.
If you want to watch sports, it's WNBA.
And who's your favorite Mets insider? Do you like the Liberty?
And here we are. We're watching an exciting WNBA game. It's the 4th quarter. The score is 67-62. They're making some great shots here. Both teams are shooting 40% from the foul line and 20% from the field.
Well, Joe's a big fan of your impersonations. You got to do any Mets? You got any Mets impersonations? Now, Frank, is there any MLB Mets insider or writer that you like that you think is a reputable source?
Pat Ragazzo.
He's the best.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great. And what do you think about Andy Martino? He's always defending the Yankees and he's always defending the Mets.
And those Beetle dolls.
He's got the Beetle dolls right on SNY.
I want to take those Beetle dolls and rip the heads off of them.
Yeah. And he's just very pro-Yankee. And he's always defending the Mets, not doing much this off season. It's sad sometimes. So Frank, for the rest of this decade, who's gonna have more success, the Mets or the Devils?
It depends if the Devils do the right thing.
Get a goalie.
Yeah, get a goalie. Get some toughness. Get someone. The 2 issues for the Devils this year. They lost Miles Wood. I think they undervalued him. His stats aren't shiny, but he's like one of these hard-nosed players that like battles in the corner and makes some good plays here and there. He doesn't get like any like big assists or anything, but he's tough and gritty. The Devils had no toughness, no grit, and whenever the team got behind, they just rolled over and died.
Big letdown for them this year, of course. So what Met?
And they're poorly coached too, so that doesn't help.
What Met is going to have the worst season this year, statistically?
I think Starling Marte will be so bad that by May he's
DFA'd.
DFA'd.
Okay, and then they'll just not really replace him, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Frank, this has been great. Everybody.
And Brett Beatty will have more errors than hits.
Oof. Okay, that's going to be a lot of errors. And then Mark Vientos will take over at third?
And Mark Vientos will strike out in 7 out of 10 at bats, but his BIP will be 330. And they'll say that's good.
All right, fair enough. And of course, the exit velocity.
Frank. He might strike out every other at bat, but he's got a good BIP. He might not know how to make contact, but he's got a good BIP. All he does is swing, and the ball goes by him every day. If he levels up, he might make contact, and the ball might be in play and he'll get a hit. But if not, he's just going to strike out every bat. It's so bad, it's not so bad. Bip for you.
I think Andy Martino would love that one. And Joe Jackson loves the optimism.
And another one that's going to be good is Harrison Bader. He will not hit 100. He will be playing bingo. 076. Bingo!
Oh, boy. So what's the Mets record coming out of April?
They will be, how many games do they play in April?
Probably like 28, 27 maybe. If you include opening day in March.
5-23.
Okay. And when they go to London to play the Phillies, the season will be over by then, right?
Oh yeah, they will be 20 games under 500, and they will get stomped, steamrolled, and embarrassed in London. That's so much so that the Brits will say, "Mama, this team, the Mets, they're going to be relegated." In fact, Sheffield United is going to play baseball against the Mets, and they'll beat them.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Frank, appreciate it.
And then the Mets will have to play in Luton Town.
They'll be relegated down.
Yeah, they'll be playing in Luton Town.
Oh, boy. All right, everybody, make sure you follow Bleav in the Mets on all platforms and YouTube, of course. Subscribe. Frank, thanks for your time. Any last words before we end this here on a high note?
Pain, misery, suffering.
Yeah, that's pretty much the slogan for this year, I guess.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Let's hope for the best, everybody. And thanks to Frank. And until next time, everyone, let's hope for the best and let's go Mets.